Hello, my name is Luis Vega, and this is my funding proposal for the digitization of Great Camp Tojenka's preservation library. The unique architectural and historically important Great Camp documentation needs to be digitized if it is to be preserved. Located on Big Moose Lake in the Adirondack Park, Camp Tojenka has a complete set of records from the camp's 100-plus year history. Preserving and digitizing this full collection is of great significance to architecture, Adirondack history, and Great Camp history. Great camps have a long and romantic history in the Adirondack Park. Starting with William Restaurant in the 1860s, great camps have defined the style of the region and began an architectural style that is still sought after today. Great Camp Tojenka on Big Moose Lake has on site a collection of historical documentation that include one-of-a-kind records. Since great camps have started to be torn down due to age and the expense of upkeep, preserving such immaculate records is of great importance. Digitizing this collection properly will be significant to both a multitude of architectural schools such as Syracuse University, which will house these records, and to the community at large who are interested in the history of the great camps as well as the culture of the times during their construction. Our goal, first and foremost, is preservation. A collection of this magnitude intact is nearly unheard of after so many years, which makes it significant and unique. Documents in the collection include photographs, blueprints, and drawings, letters, diaries, ledgers, financial expenditures, work orders, visitor logs, and more. An archivist and a digital librarian will be necessary to complete this project. The projected timeline will be 8 to 12 months. Acquired funds will go toward lodging, transportation, purchasing server space, necessary equipment, rental space, digital software, and salaries. Documents and artifacts will be stored in a climate-controlled facility after transportation and acquisition. The Camp Tojenka archive will be available through an original digital library portal. It will be linked to various architectural schools and available for free. It is important that this information be accessible and available. What information is out there from other camps, such as Great Camp Sagamore or Camp Uncas, is not digitized. It is scattered. Some is at the Adirondack Museum at Blue Mountain Lake. But in any event, architectural schools cannot access it without going to the location and digging through the files. What we hope to do with this Camp Tojenka project is allow new architects to be able to design and build in traditional ways. Great camps, the few that there are left, the few authentic ones that there are left, can be preserved through the access of these records. They will show how the camp was built. They will show the methods that they used and the materials that they used. The camps also will be able to be preserved, but also new camps and new visitors to the Adirondacks who wish to build a large family compound or a large home can do so authentically. Although the time period will not be, of course, a century ago, they will be able to use authentic means and traditional design. Our budget projection for this is going to hiring a professional archivist and a digital librarian for $25,000 and $30,000 respectively for the duration of the project. Digital software we estimate to be about $2,000 for purchase. Transportation of records about $500. It is within a day's drive of the repository at Syracuse University, so we do not anticipate really exceeding this cost. flatbed scanner and digital camera for $300 and $800 to photograph and scan documents and pictures. Off-site server space for $2,000 a year. We wish to keep these records at high resolutions and for them to be available in side-by-side frames with the transcribed letters. This requires a lot of space for the high pixel level of the images, hence the expenditure for this. We wish to use an offsite server space as a safety measure in case something happens to, say, Syracuse University's library server. The storage of the records will be estimated at $720 a year. That was an average we found. Climate control storage is very important for these records. They are 100+ years old. The camp was built in 1899. They are fragile. They have not been kept in appropriate storage space. There was attic and basement. It is hot. It is humid. It is dry. Sometimes it is cold. All this is wear and tear on these records. So we wish to stop the damage and use a climate controlled space, not simply a closet or storage unit. These are serious records and they are one of a kind. Lodging for the archivist and librarian, we estimate to be about $16,000. That may vary depending on if they live locally. Perhaps an arrangement can be made, but we want to factor in this cost into our funding. The total comes to $77,320. We think, as most of this is a one-time cost, the only yearly cost would be about $2,700. This for as long as we can manage. We will, of course, do fundraisers afterwards to bring in more outside money, so we're not reliant on one source. But we think this is a very good cost. We have tried to use the best methods to keep costs down and be efficient. Our timeline, we project between 8 and 12 months, as we said. Our first week will be transporting the record and transporting records and purchasing equipment. Weeks 1 to 3 will be design and prepare the digital library space. This is important as this will be the portal that people will see. We want it to be accessible. We want it to be easy to use. We want to have the most information we can have. The first month we organize, prepare, and categorize records. This, depending on the size and the variations of records that we have, we may or may not start digitization earlier or later. We estimate between months 2 and 8 is when the bulk of the digitization will be done. Digitize and scan materials onto the server, upload, and also back up onto external hard drives. And months 8 to 10, transcribe documents to correlate with digital searchability. This allows cross-reference searching. This allows clarity if someone cannot read a letter or ledger from the image. We have the easily read transcribed letter available. This is an example of the Tojenka Digital Library. Enhancements and improvements will be made as the library develops. This is just a prototype, but I wanted you to see how the layout would be. We have different browsing tabs like blueprints and drawings, photographs, ledgers, letters, guest books, and visitor logs, and maps. If someone wishes to look for any one of those, whether a professional researcher, architect, or just a curious browser, they can feel free to do that. Also, we have a search box, which allows to look for, say you want to look for a bedroom, or you want to look for a porch, or you just want to look for certain blueprints, interior, exterior. All of those can be searched through the search menu. This is an example of one of the browsing tabs. This is the photograph one. This is important because as these are primarily intended for architectural use, that is a very visual discipline. So as many blueprints and descriptions you can have, having an actual photograph of an authentic gray camp is of huge benefit. And as I previously said, these will be stored on higher resolution files available to see the detail. And that is what we hope to accomplish with this grant funding. It will be preserved for as long as possible, available to as many people as possible, and unlike some other camps, it will not be housed in a poorly ventilated attic or flooded basement. These are a one-of-a-kind records from a unique Adirondack architectural movement, and I hope we can share these with other architects across the country and across the world. They have certainly used them in Montana, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and we hope that they can be preserved and not torn down or lost for forever. So thank you for your consideration, and please visit the Adirondacks and appreciate all that they have to offer, including many great camps that are now available for tours and visits. That's what we want to preserve. So thank you very much.